Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I'm here with Supply Cup, and I'm running it with a stock Cadillac. This is one of the techniques you can use to get through the Supply Cup. This is the first technique which does not require any tuning, and this is actually a popular technique with many players for Supply Cups in general because it works with every car. If you run it stock, as you can see, I'm running 11.7 against 12.0. The opponents generally don't get much faster than what you're seeing here. You will be running the same kind of time, and I'm on race 24 already. So you will run a particular kind of time. Your opponent will move around a little bit on the times, but they generally don't run what you run stock. It's set up to give you a little bit of an advantage no matter what. So here you want to just kind of shift deep good and then get through the shifts without redlining the car, and you should slowly pull past the opponent. And this is one of the last races here. I think that was race 24. Yep. So race 24, the opponent ran 11.85 and you ran 11.783. So you got about a tenth margin there that's automatically given to you by the game. So Supply Cups, because sometimes the cars are just not tunable, like this Cadillac is very hard to tune, it's worth it to just simply run it stock. That is one of the key strategies here. It works well, and of course, by the time you get a PC Cup, you may have to build a car, but until then, you can still set it back to stock for the Supply Cup, and then just put the parts back on when you need to do something else with it. So once again, as you can see here, a decent margin at the very end without running into any issues. So that allowed me to basically finish 25 races in the Supply Cup with 11.7 as my run time and then facing 11.8 opponent. So there you go, Supply Cup complete. No real issues there. 11.8, 11.7. 1/10 margin given to you pretty much by the game at all times. So that's one of the strategies you can use to make sure that you don't have a problem in the Supply Cup. But let's say we want to tune this Cadillac. Can we? Yes, you can. Let's take a look at that at this point. All right, so we ran it stock, and now we're running a modified. One of the problems with modified is it's very hard to beat dyno. The shift pattern is pretty simple. You just kind of do what I'm doing here, which nitrous can be fifth or fourth. It makes slight difference, but both will get you semi-decent runs. 8.891. The problem is that's on a 8.878 dyno. So a Maxim Evo setup with the tune, this car doesn't really do too well, and that's why people are struggling in the Supply Cup. The thing about this car is it doesn't really have a crazy dyno beating tune just by doing something like this. Notice it still stays positive, and it rolls down without a cliff drop. It just rolls down the numbers. So that means you're not going to get a crazy dyno beating of anything by messing with the final drive and putting the tire to zero. So what I found is that the problem here is because the way this car operates, it spins the tire no matter what. You're not going to get much more grip by doing this. It just doesn't help that much. What you could potentially do is go the other way, where there is a substantial instant drop from the Evo points. Something like this. This is not much though. It's a small bit, but anything's better than nothing, right? So with this little drop, the dyno has changed to a 9.514. Still in the quarter mile. Let's test run it and see if we can at least beat dyno. Alright, here we go. Let's test run this. Fifth gear nitrous. 9.355 on a 9.514. So about a 0.15 drop in the quarter mile final time. This isn't that impressive. Let's be honest here. Running it stock will probably do the same thing. But if you just want a little bit faster run, this is a technique that'll get you there. The real difference here is in the half-mile runs, which unfortunately you won't be doing for the purpose of a Supply Cup. And you won't be able to use that in PC Cup because those are set times. Dyno beating tunes doesn't do anything for PC Cup. You want the max evo tune so your car runs the fastest. It could be used, however, in live, but the evo here is so low, the RP gains will be minimal. I'm not sure I would care to do that unless I had at least not even 700, I would say 900 evo, even with this setting. But regardless, this will beat dyno a bit, both here and here. About 0.15 here, probably around the same, if not more, at the very end there. We can test run it with a half mile just to kind of see the difference here. Alright, so we're going to do a half mile run, see what we can do with the dyno here. Alright, 5th gear nitrous, run through 6, 7, and we'll write out 7 because it's already pretty much to the end. 13.654 on a 13.852. So it expanded from a 0.15 to a 0.2 by the time you get to the half mile. So from what I noticed is that you can play with the tire to get a little bit of dyno beating. You should just leave the transmission at the stock location for now until more upgrades, at which point there probably will be a difference. 3.0 nitrous seems to work good. You can go down to 2.0 nitrous, but it's really a short burst. And it doesn't really change this too much. So there's no reason to shortchange yourself on the duration. I would just leave it at 3. But that is a dyno beating setup based on looser grip in the tire, stock transmission, and 3.0 nitrous. This is the best I can do. So unfortunately for us, for this season, you're stuck with a relatively bad car when it comes to tuning. So this card's either gonna, run dyno or run a little bit under dyno, but it's not going to be easily tuned to bust dyno or do anything special. It is what it is, and that's why we just have to come up with a strategy of which way we want to approach it. I would say for me, because I'm already building the car and getting parts, and I don't feel like sending it back to stock every time just to beat the supply cup, I am going to just use my method of loosening the wheels up a little bit on the tire end, and then driving it to get under dyno, and that should get me through supply cup. But for those of you who are otherwise struggling, either try this method for tuning or just go ahead and put the car to stock, and you should be able to make it through this season supply cups without an issue. This does not, again, it does not work as a technique for PC Cup. That's an upgrade based event. You have to have enough upgrades to make it through PC Cup. So understand that these kind of tuning that I do for supply cups does not apply to the PC Cup. Well, I hope this video will be somewhat helpful to you. I'm sorry I couldn't find a true dyno buster with this car. It's kind of a shame. I kind of like the car, but on the other hand, a little bit of dyno beating does make it a viable live racer once you get some more Evo points. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me on my channel. If you like the video, please do leave a like. Any comments or questions are welcome. And as always, if you like my videos, please subscribe to the channel so you get notifications. And I'll catch you next time with another CSR2 video. Have a good one.